Yeah, that seems to be about right.
Let's
All
see,
right.
I don't have any
And
personal
and
information
actually, what I
up
can
anywhere,
do.
do I?
Oh,
Let's see.
let me pull this back over. That keeps happening.
I do have this one over here.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to use that one instead.
Oh, is it plugged in?
Yep.
Actually, I've got hours of that life. I don't know. I will need to plug this into video when we switch over to Yamada's, but that's fine. I just want to get up. Oh, I can't get up the chat room. Never mind. We will just have to swap back and forth to the chat room on here. So.
We could try doing it on this one if you want, but then we can't see it.
Yeah, exactly. What we can do is this, and then go over here, and go to that. And we will stop that.
Moonbase Alpha.
Moonbase Alpha.
Moonbase Alpha.
I discovered there's a whole thing within the Lego community where they have built a Moonbase standard where they say if you are building like Moonbase pieces, like parts of a Moonbase, there's a certain standard you can build to with certain spots where you can put ports. And so that everyone can build all their different little moon bases, and then when you go to conventions and stuff, you all just bring it in and put it in all slot together, exactly the right, height and distance. Yeah, it's amazing. So there's this specification for how you build your moon bases. It's pretty smart.
My standard moon base is 2 units.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Let me grab my notes.
The standard moon base unit.
The standard moon base unit.
Let's see. That looks okay. Wow.
Yeah.
That Norwegian flag there in the background almost looks like
something different. Sure does.
As long as people don't think it's like the rebel flag or something, especially after last week.
It actually looks a little bit more like a German flag from about 70 years ago.
I'm going to take that down
okay.
real quick because I don't want any misinterpretations.
Yeah. Fair enough. There we go.
Yeah, misinterpretations would be bad.
Yeah, they sure would. All right. And it's actually 9:30.
Well, hello.
Indeed. All right. Is there anything else
yes, indeed.
before we get going? I don't think so. Cool. All right.
We're live.
We're live.
We're live with smoke and mirrors.
Yes.
On the moon base.
Yes, this is our special underground moon base location.
Top secret.
Yes.
Can't tell you.
Nope, not at all. So you guys who are watching on the video get to guess where we are, and we're not going to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
So today we're looking at more of Haruhi Suzumiya. And this is the broadcast order of that. Hey, Liquidus. And we're going to be studying that as we go along. Oh, please, absolutely.
But notes.
So, yes, so, again, this is broadcast order, so things are a little different than they were in in before. And we may be a little bit off at this point. I was actually looking back through broadcast order. I think we are correct, but I need to double check on the broadcast order because the DVD I pulled is actually sequential order. So I think we're okay, but we'll double check and let you all know.
Squenchy order.
Yes. It's always a little confusing when there are multiple orders. So today is the baseball episode.
Baseball.
Yes, baseball been very, very seeing audio go out.
Let's.
Sorry, Liquid.
I can check this
yeah.
real quick and see.
Do whatever you're doing. Everything's muted, maybe. That would suck.
USB 3
Working.
Yeah.
Working. That's weird. Sorry, guys. Why am I speaking? One second. I'll let
Test 1 2. I see deflection on the meter.
Hello. Oh.
Testing.
Talking.
Okay, I see deflection on
there
the
we
meter.
go. Okay.
If it's back, I
All
wonder
right.
where it went in the first place because we saw it there earlier.
Double check on that.
Testing 1
Testing
2
1 2
3.
3.
Testing 3 2 1. I'll raise your test and see ya. ABC. Is it live?
Are we okay now? Is everything all right now
Mimics?
as we talk?
I
So
see.
double checking on audio qualities. Everything seems okay there.
And
Things
hopefully.
bounced around.
We were displaced to the moon temporarily.
You know those meteor showers.
Those meteor showers, yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, they're. I worry about the suds the meteor showers create.
Yeah, exactly. Whoa.
Our live light. Where'd that go?
That's okay. I paused
on.
that. Yeah. Testing audio again. Well, here's what we can do. Actually, I've got hours of that. I don't. I will need to plug this into video when we start doing Yamadas, but that's fine. I just want to get up. Oh, I can't get up the chat.
Straightening my tie. Yeah. Putting on my top hat.
Let's try. Things bounced around. Yeah.
We were displaced to the moon temporarily.
You know those meteor showers.
Those meteor showers, yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, they're
okay. Good. All right. So we're good in there. All right. Sweet. All right. So we're gonna start again.
So in the beginning,
yes. In the beginning,
God
there was
created
smoke.
light, and then the mirrors. And
so the audio is back now, and the stream randomly flashed at one point was when audio went off. Huh. Okay. That may have been a YouTube issue then.
There have been thunder and lightning storms in the area, and those meteors.
Yeah.
What can you do?
Exactly. Yes. I suspect that there's something going on between the world powers.
The powers that be.
Yeah, and I think those meteor showers may be, some people say
meteor showers are just world powers.
Exactly.
And we just recently had solar flares, so
right.
Who knows what's flared up over that?
Yeah, I don't trust them. The moon conglomerate mining company. Has to do its best.
Actually, if there wasn't an overcast evening, they say that the recent solar flares are creating an aurora borealis that can be seen much further south than ordinarily.
Yeah.
So if you guys are out in a spot where you can see the skies tonight, go ahead and check it out because you might actually see some. I think it's as far south as Pennsylvania.
Wow.
So if you guys are further south than that, then I don't know, maybe.
Yeah.
Chances are probably less. But if you're north of Pennsylvania, you might have a chance to see some aurora borealis.
Nice, cool. There's a place at the Goddard Space Flight Center called the Solar Weather Tracking Station, I think they call it. It is a room full with a wall length video display showing solar weather. Nice. And all these different images of the sun stats and so forth, so that when a solar flare happens, all these things light up and all these gauges start charting. And it's amazing.
Oh,
I was lucky enough to be there with a sci-fi author who is doing a lot of research on that and said, I want to go here. I want to go see this thing.
guys, let's all demand a field trip.
Exactly.
Field trip.
And it's one of those things that it's off the beaten path because it's it's in the middle of a building somewhere.
That's got to be the coolest to see.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. They do some.
They look at the sun.
They look at the
They
sun.
look in the sun.
Exactly.
Something we never do.
And they also, I mean, it's to track things, to be able to say, you know, something's coming in. We should know about it.
Yeah, those solar flares. There's a seasonal solar flares, and they disrupt communication satellites quite frequently. So knowing when they're coming in can be very important.
Absolutely. And one of these days, a major flare is going to point in the wrong direction and hit us. Yeah, and that's going to cause some problems. Who knows? All right. So welcome once again to Smoke
and Mirrors. Smoke and Mirrors.
Smoke and Mirrors.
Mirrors and Smoke.
And Smoke and Mirrors.
And Smoke and Mirrors. And here we are on Moonbase.
Yep, our secret underground Moonbase
Alpha.
Moonbase Beta, maybe.
Beta. This is the beta version. Our Alpha was destroyed in a huge solar flare.
Yeah, well, it's strange. There was this big explosion, and Moonbase Alpha wasn't there anymore. It's like it was flying off somewhere in space. I don't know.
I wonder if that was one of their bright ideas.
Yeah, we'll see.
So they left us with an episode.
Yes.
And this is chronologically episode 7.
Yes.
Broadcast
episode.
It was 5.
Episode 5.
Episode 5.
I believe. And we're gonna have to go back and double check because I was actually using the wrong disc for this. It's the problem with having a show that's in 2 different orders. But I believe we are still in the correct broadcast order. So yeah, this is the baseball episode of Haruhi.
Baseball. Baseball's big in Japan.
It is.
And here in the US, of course.
Right.
Mom, apple pie, and baseball.
But yeah,
in Japan, it's been around for quite a while.
Yes, it came over in the late 1800s, I believe. So they had it almost as long as we have over here in America, and so it is absolutely a national pastime. High schools, college, all teams. Highly paid players.
I think we get some of our players from there, and some of our players go over there and play.
Yes, absolutely.
There have been some famous movies about that too.
They have. So Haruhi comes in and announces that she is going to.
Guess what we're doing today, guys? We're doing baseball. Well, okay, all 5 of us.
I guess, yeah.
The team doesn't make.
And so we get to see how Haruhi deals with the SOS Brigade when it's just her, when she's just walking in on them in a regular normal day and announces what they're going to do. And we see that Yuki, of course, just sits in a corner and just does her thing. Yep, and love that.
Yeah.
And Kyon asks the sensible questions, which Haruhi completely ignores. And Itsuki wants to go along with it because he's kind of the observer, and Mikuro gets completely steamrollered by Haruhi. She
accurate term.
Yeah,
and she's stroking her hair. She's like, "Oh!"
I love that little thing with the
she
ear.
bites her ear.
Bites the ear.
And you know what happens if you don't?
Adorable and abusive all at the same time. So
cute but strange but cute.
Exactly. So they're gonna play baseball apparently,
So
and
they need some more team members.
They sure do. So the brigade members announce that they're going to. So I just love that Haruhi just sort of drops Mikuro on the floor and walks over, and unceremoniously. And so they all bring in various of their friends to help them out with the baseball game. And so we see a couple of them come in, starting with just sitting there doing her best.
Oh, look at her uniforms behind.
Yeah, you see a bit of all of her uniforms. So of course they go over. They're trying to practice. They got their the baseball team is, as we mentioned, the baseball team has their practice time. It's a big deal.
We want to use this field and the equipment.
Right.
And we're gonna bat 1,000 pitches here. We're gonna 1,000 hits, I think she said.
1,000 hits. Yep.
So that's ambitious for somebody who's not playing baseball.
No,
to just,
no.
Okay, I'm gonna just go and hit 1,000 times.
But we remember from episode 1 that Haruhi tried out for every team.
Yeah.
And they all wanted her, but she walked off every team.
She liked to dabble with clubs, but not stay with clubs.
But so clearly she has some skills.
She has some skills. She's impressive.
Exactly. So Haruhi brings over Mikuru and used her short skirt as her secret weapon, and was able to convince the team to let them come over there.
Oh.
And so we have to see what all of the SOS Brigade are like in here. Mikuru is completely scared out of her mind. Itsuki's pretty good, actually. Yeah. Kyon doesn't know what he's doing. Yuki just sits there and blocks anything that's about to hit her. Absolutely minimal movement.
Not catch, just block.
Right, just block.
Let the glove block it. It falls to the ground.
And poor Mikuru there is just getting hit by the ball.
With the glove on her head to protect your skull.
And here we see Kyon, and I think, again, it's sort of an interesting moment where Kyon sees this and gets a little angry. And he walks over and grabs Mikuru and drags her off. And here he's
reason.
Right. And here he's defying Haruhi very directly.
This isn't productive for the team, for her, for anybody.
So he says, okay, we're done. At which point Haruhi drafts the rest of the baseball players in.
Okay, you guys are going to take the rest of these hits. Field this, field this, field this.
And she keeps hitting things, and so now...
And they do count 1,000 hits.
Yes, she manages 1,000 hits, which is pretty amazing.
What's amazing is they counted those.
Yeah. And Kyon asks if Yuki can do something in terms of like raining out the
yeah,
thing.
maybe we could rain it and have a forfeit from weather, rain out the game.
Yeah.
Oh, but that will affect the future.
Right.
And it may disrupt the climate of the planet. I mean, that can't be done.
Yeah.
Even though it's a little bit in the future.
Here's what I find funny. Like, they're worried about affecting the climate 10,000 years in the future. But they'll let Haruhi, rewrite history.
Since the past 3 years,
right?
She's making history. There's no history before her.
Yeah, so something weird is going on.
Oh, she's cute.
So Tsuruya shows up. This is one of the friends here, Mikuru, one of Mikuru's friends from another class, and we've seen her in episode 0. She's a laughing girl. You just can't stop laughing at Mikuru. Love that. But Kyon has his own secret weapon that he brings over, which Haruhi is not happy about. Kyon's little sister. So Kyon's Imoto, he brought her along as kind of his insurance card.
Young girl, age 10, 5th grade. Perfect for taking on their opponent.
College
baseball team. Yeah. Why not? We need 9 people at least, right?
Right. So Kyon here is concerned because Haruhi, being Haruhi, can warp reality to make things fit, but there's no way she can do that with a 10-year-old girl on the team, right?
No way.
Okay, let's see how that works out. So then the game begins, and rather predictably, Haruhi does well and Mikuru does not. She just kind of stands there. Yuki kind of stands there. And we very quickly see what's going on. Yeah, I love Yuki, just her minimal movement for everything.
Basic. Haruhi's pretty good, though. She's
good, yeah.
She can pitch. She can hit.
But to that point,
she can't exactly coach too well. Her the way she coaches is compared to worse than a senile coach who doesn't know what he's doing even.
Yeah, Haruhi is operating entirely on instinct.
Secret weapon.
But she has another secret weapon, which is cheerleader outfits.
That works.
Haruhi and Mikuru put on, and certainly gets attention.
Of course, Mikuru is.
Everyone else.
Huddle. I'm embarrassed.
And Kyon's happy. He's quite content with this. We actually see them with this in the opening credit sequence. This is an outfit from there. And so,
She grabs her arms. Okay, you're gonna
pushing
cheer,
around,
cheer.
and we get a little bit of
Yay,
Gynax
yay, do
bounce
your
there
best.
in the with her. So the important thing here to note is that as good of a pitcher Haruhi is, she is up against college students, and so she's not going to be able to manage a no-hitter against college students.
No.
They're just too good. But the two of them go to bat in their cheerleading outfits, which manages to
Distracts
the
the opponents.
Which again, it works. Haruhi is managing. And this is what Haruhi does. She kind of reworks reality to her benefit.
Leverage everything you can, and then a little bit of extra.
Exactly. Haruhi has no shame. Let's just put that right out there. So the game goes. So Haruhi tries to signal Mikuru, despite them having no idea of signaling. They have no signals whatsoever. But she has these bizarre
waving
signals.
Every which way, and
making these lewd gestures.
Mention this to them beforehand that they were going to use signals, so none of this means anything.
Exactly.
No, they're like,
makes no sense.
What is she trying to say?
I also love. This is a great example of how Kyoto Animation really knows what they're doing, where they just animate Haruhi doing this over and over and over again, getting faster and faster and faster, and you see the two other baseball players just staring at her, just looking at her, and what are you doing? And she just keeps on doing that and keeps on doing that. And they just keep listening. And finally, they just kind of walk off.
Okay. This girl's whacked.
The animation in general in this episode is very impressive. There's a lot of movement. There's a lot of action going on. In an episode where you have a lot of different characters. The stretchy cheeks.
Well, now there was something that happened a little bit earlier where the Esper fellow, Suzuki, I believe it is, he threw a little bit of discontinuity into my understanding.
Yeah.
He mentioned something that's growing, and then we see a cut to some sort of
very
entity
strange.
that had some ghostly corporeal form. I couldn't tell.
A creature,
an
that
energy creature. Of
it
some sort.
looked almost like, I'm going to see if I can find a shot of that where it was in the episode.
There was an expansion of closed space.
Exactly.
Are we getting foreshadowing of?
Well, in a way. So this is again how things get kind of weird. He's referencing something that happened previously in chronological order,
but not in broadcast order.
Exactly. So we haven't seen that yet.
I should expect unusual things from an Esper that may or may not make sense.
Yeah.
But when Kyon seemed to understand and agree, that's when I thought, okay, well, maybe there's a difference between the chronological and broadcast orders.
Yeah.
That this was something that was an artifact of that discrepancy.
Yep. Again, I'm trying to find that moment, but it's not showing up. But yes, so we see an energy creature that looks kind of similar to the
thing in.
Well, I'm thinking of Princess Mononoke. There's the what's it called? The spirit of the forest in its night form. Looks not unlike these things, which I think again is kind of intentional. They're kind of throwing it back to some classic stuff from Studio Ghibli and such. But yeah, so they have some very interesting issues there.
Well, now they do really well in this game, but why did they do well? They had some sort of a spell.
So Yuki suddenly starts to speak very rapidly, and there's a weird thing where this is 2006 version, so season 1. So Yuki suddenly starts speaking very fast, and there we go. And it's quite strange. Suddenly, every pitch goes directly into Yuki's glove.
They have suddenly magically gotten good. Too good. Unbelievably
good. Yes. Very, very.
How is this ragtag bunch of misfits now kicking butt?
And I love the expressions on everyone else's. There she goes. I love the expressions
Look
on
how
all the
fast
other.
that was.
Yeah.
She was saying something.
Mm-hmm. And Mikuru refers to it as a spell, or as something like a spell. But of course, what it actually is, it's classified.
Classified. It's classified. Can't say.
And we see again sort of a flash forward to something else that we haven't seen yet. But yeah, suddenly they're all
They're all awestruck. How are these guys doing this? Everybody's hitting it way past. We're gonna run out of balls. Who's gonna go fetch those?
Yeah. So she hands over the thing. Bam.
It's like they can't miss
They can't
getting
miss
it over
it.
the fence.
And so suddenly they've made a whole bunch of runs, and they go up to bat, and it's pretty cool. It's working really well. And of course, the other team is like, "What's going? This is
That bat
strange."
is beat.
The bat is
There's
beat to
little chunks
pieces.
out of
Yeah,
it. It's not even the logo that's making that mark. That's dents in it.
And so Yuki goes up to that, and it's pretty cool. Yeah.
So, yes.
So yeah. So this is actually, I mean, a good indication of kind of where the show's going. So up until this point, the stuff that's been going on with Haruhi and the SOS Brigade has been more or less normal. It's not normal anymore.
She can't get bored for some reason.
No.
Boring is bad.
Boring is bad.
If she gets bored, the universe goes kabloom.
What do you think happened 3 years ago?
Maybe that's what happened 3 years ago, and that's why nothing predates it. She was bored. Boom!
Yep. Quite possibly.
Wow. Because if she gets bored or unhappy, apparently that affects the state of the universe.
Yeah. And
She seems to be more than human in that respect.
Very true.
Although I've been bored and I've affected the universe of people around me, but not the entire universe.
No. Yeah, I mean, Haruhi needs things to be interesting. And if they stop being interesting, well, then she'll make them interesting in some way, shape, or form. And that's kind of scary. So we have to figure out some way of making all that, of making things interesting. And that is the purpose of the SOS Brigade. All these people come together to keep Haruhi from becoming bored. Because that would be a very bad thing.
Now, if I had a team of folks like that.
Exactly. So Kaiser in the chat room is asking about the broadcast order. So this is again sort of a confusing thing. When the show was originally broadcast on TV, it was broadcast in an order different than the sequential chronological order of the episodes if you told it in the same order that they were in the original light novels. And it's not a random order. It's a very deliberate order. So you see certain things happening in a certain order, but it's not sequential.
So they hadn't come out with the DVD series yet.
Correct.
Before the broadcast.
Correct.
But they'd come out with the episodes.
No.
So they jumped in with episode 3.
Well, so they started with episodes 0, 1, 2, and 3, I believe.
0, 1, 2, and 3.
And then they jumped to episode 7.
And then 7.
And then I think 10.
And 10.
And then back to 4.
Ooh.
Yes, it bounces all over the place.
But had the studio not done the in-between episodes at that point? Or
as I understand it, they made the episodes in the order in which they were broadcast. So this was planned. This was very much intentional, that they were airing it in a different order. Because, and without getting into spoilers, because the show is about characters who, where a lot of stuff happens.
Travel.
Yes. Because there are various secrets and information about the characters, Kyoto Animation, the studio, realized they can air it in an order in which some of those secrets can remain secrets longer.
It's more entertaining if you wonder, hey.
Yeah.
Don't let the cat out of the bag too soon.
And vice versa.
But I always wonder who put the cat in the bag.
It's
That must have been
true, I
tricky.
know.
I mean,
Yeah,
who's this
when have you ever seen
person
a
who's
cat being
putting
able to
cats
get-
in a bag?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Ever try to put a cat anywhere? It never goes well.
They have their own mindset on things. And
Well, and vice versa. Showing an episode from later piques your interest.
oh, something's coming.
Yeah.
I can't tell what, but I know something.
Why are those characters suddenly doing that when I haven't seen them anything like that before? So that is very much the intention.
I want that energy creature. I want to know more.
Yeah, exactly. And also, I believe, I'll have to go back and check, but I believe they also went in and tweaked some things for the DVD. So there are references in these episodes that weren't in the original broadcast. I'm not sure about those dates. I think, I mean, it sounds, isn't 2009 season 2? I think that's what happened in 2009. I'm not sure though. But yes. So, getting back to the episode. So, yes. So
I love how she throws the ball. She just and it goes so fast it knocks the glove off of him.
And that's another actually good point, is how Yuki then tries to change everything by making everything, making them all be able to throw much there. In a sense, that's worse, because suddenly they can throw things completely past somebody that they wanted to throw it to.
I do now believe there is an alien, there is an Esper, there is a time traveler. I do believe that now.
And again, this is one of the reasons why they picked this episode, is because of other things that happen in between. But this establishes the fact that, okay, they're not just saying this to Kyon. They're not just pretending.
Kyon's seen it in action.
Yeah.
Somehow, people who cannot hit, who cannot catch, are doing it.
Absolutely. So yeah, this is certainly turning somewhat supernatural in that sense. So yeah, so here we have just kind of that hint that things are moving along in that way.
And of course, lunch is on Kyon.
Of course, lunch is on Kyon, but that's okay.
Because the other team inquired about that magical bat that just never seems to miss.
I totally missed this the first time I watched. The fact that suddenly they have the bat.
How is it they have the bat and he has money? Oh, they have the bat. He has money for lunch. He sold the bat.
And for all we know, it may still work.
Yeah. They may clean up the championship after from here on in. One defeat.
I love to find out about that. Maybe there's a reference to that in the original novels or something. But of course, Haruhi has more ideas, more plans.
Next time, soccer or American football for the team of 5. I wonder if the 10-year-old sister is going to be involved in that.
Who knows? Oh.
She certainly is capricious in her interests.
She certainly is. Now, something I'll mention now is, and in fact, we can even see it there on the screen. We mentioned already that Kyon is his nickname. Everyone just kind of calls him Kyon.
It wasn't his first choice.
No. And we see on the credits that his little sister is literally called Kyon's little sister.
Kyon's little sister.
What are their names?
I just dropped my pen.
Yeah. They've never mentioned Kyon's name. They've never mentioned Kyon's little sister's name. Isn't that weird?
That is odd.
I wonder why that might be. Who knows?
Yeah.
So that is
this feeling that is a warp and a loop.
Yeah.
The phrase
It definitely
as
is.
the closing credit.
Yes.
I love the dance. I've got to learn this dance.
The Hare Hare Yukai dance is wondrous.
Anybody
wondrous
out there done the dance?
Any of the cons or anything? I saw some folks doing that at Anime Expo these many years ago.
I want to learn that dance and then see some spontaneous group of people just go into it. Then I can jump in.
Yeah.
What would be even better is if that spontaneously happened somewhere away from a con.
Yeah.
Just random people.
So that has happened. When this show came out, particularly schoolgirls would just go on the side of the road, take a boombox and just do it in front of a camera. Folks are just walking by, okay, whatever. That's nice, dear. A lot of fun. All right, so moving on to Yamada's first time. Bear with us for a second here as we switch over
Cables. The moon base comes equipped with its own Presto Changeo crew.
Yes, exactly.
I will hand this to you.
Yes, thank you, Liquidus. That is correct. You've reminded me of how it actually worked. When they broadcast season 2, they broadcast season 1 as well, and interspersed everything in exact chronological order. So some things in season 2 happen in between season 1 episodes. So they kind of gave us everything all at once. Then, of course, other stuff happens, but that's spoilers for season 2.
Do we need to turn on external?
They should turn on Discover. Double check. Yeah, it's not seeing that, but I think before that had to actually go over to whatever it was, and then this discovered it. We're experiencing technical difficulties beyond our control.
Moon base requires a little setup.
Yep. That way. Come on. It was hard before. RGB. There we go. Let's bounce it in.
There we go. Yes, got a signal.
Right. I move this over here. Yes, I can, so we can actually talk about this. Yay! All right.
So this one I'll push forward, maybe.
Yeah.
I hesitate to
Yeah.
lose audio.
This is fine.
Okay,
good. All right. So
okay,
back there.
we still have audio.
Yes.
Check 1, 2.
Kaiser Dramon's question. The disappearance of Nagato Yuki-chan is a spin-off set in a version of the universe that we see in the Haruhi movie, which is the disappearance of Haruhi Suzumiya. And yes, that is an accurate title. It is quite literally a spin-off. There are ties back to the original world, but it's set in a world in which all the characters are normal school students.
Oh, no espers,
No espers, no aliens. No, exactly.
Oh,
so Yuki,
normal people. That's just my kind of people, but still.
Right. So Yuki is just a shy schoolgirl. She's not even as closed in as she is in this series. She's just shy.
It's almost like a parallel universe.
Exactly, and that's kind of how they play it. It's a different sort of way everything goes. And Ryoko, who you've seen in bits and pieces already, the very nice girl, is her best friend, and Yuki is secretly in love with this guy in her class named Kyon, who and she's trying to figure out how to sort of express herself to him. Just this sort of shoujo comedy. I will say, if you guys are interested in it, again, it does tie back to the original universe. It's not completely divorced from that. It is kind of an alternate timeline.
I gotta check that out.
It's fun. It aired this past season, and I think it's up on Funimation. At least an episode is. So it's there. It's cute. I may have episodes of it on here. I'm not sure. But yeah, I would definitely say wait until you've seen other Haruhi shows before you see. Actually, I disagree with that. I'm going to disagree with myself. Yuki-chan is pretty distinct. I don't think you really need to see any other Haruhi because
it's on its own.
Absolutely, because it is just kind of its own little universe, and you don't need to really know anything. It's kind of like what would be a good example?
Doctor Who before his regeneration.
That's a good example. If you went back and saw New Who, you can certainly watch New Who without seeing any previous Doctor Who, but seeing the classic shows and the Daleks and all that kind of stuff really helps inform.
It sets a framework where you can work from.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think you can kind of go either way. Yes, exactly. Liquidus. It's like Pretty Sammy. So Pretty Sammy sets it in its own universe using the Tenchi characters. So they have the same basic personalities as in the Tenchi universe, but none of all the Jirai stuff isn't there. It's a magical girl series, a hilarious and awesome magical girl series, but a very different thing. Yeah. But yes, Liquid is excellent. Perfect example. Perfect example. All right, so moving over to Yamada's first time penultimate episode.
Wow, this episode was so packed full of action.
It was an amazing episode.
I barely had time to write notes. It was so much going on. Christmas time, Christmas episode.
Yes.
You're coming to my party. Wow.
Now we should explain the difference about Christmas. I think we may have come up in earlier episodes because we already had a Christmas episode in Yamada.
It's that's true. This is the second Christmas episode. Has it been that long with Yamada?
Yes.
She still has not gotten anywhere.
They've known each other for a year and a half. And so Christmas in Japan is a much more secular holiday, as you can imagine, than over here. And it's much more of a romantic holiday. So think of it more like Valentine's Day. Today when couples go out, maybe buy gifts for each other and enjoy each other's company. And it is also a traditional time when couples find quiet time together to enjoy each other's tender physical company, shall we say. It's kind of traditional. So
That sounds like a great Christmas present.
yeah, exactly. So Kanajo decide. Well, she doesn't really decide. They're doing a Christmas party. They kind of do that, and so she's going to invite all of her classmates,
including
Yamada and Misato and everyone else.
Now with Yamada, she kind of waffles on whether she's going to. And Yamada is like,
This is,
"I'm coming to your party."
this is probably my favorite dialogue back and forth in this episode when Yamada realizes what's happening there, that this is the perfect opportunity for her and Kosuda to kind of get it on in a side room, which, I mean, fair enough.
She's getting a little bit of
drool. so Yamada decides, okay, so she walks over. Then of course, you got to let the butler know what you're gonna do. Which, why would a butler care? I don't know. So
he will facilitate the happiness of the couple.
I guess.
Supposedly, I that's expecting a lot of this butler. You know, his loyalties are probably to the family,
exactly,
and not to hooking up people or playing a matchmaker.
So what is Kanajo's plan here? Like, what's she trying to accomplish with this?
That's something that I kind of wonder about.
Yeah.
It seems like her plans are a little bit more baked than Yamada's, but not that much more baked.
No.
Her intention is to, well, she's kind of divided.
Mm-hmm.
She has her feelings towards her brother.
Mm-hmm.
She has her distaste for Yamada,
Mm-hmm.
and her indifferent approach of using Kosuda as a tool,
Yeah.
just to spite Yamada,
Mm-hmm.
and not really as a human being.
No.
Which kind of defies the sparkle approach of the family, that her
Mhm.
brother is very open about being his motives,
Yeah.
and honest.
Mm-hmm.
She conceals hers and has decided that she wants to get what she can the way
Mhm.
she can, and so she'll use whatever tactics she has, which,
Yeah.
as we find out, she has some means to
Mm-hmm.
gather information, reconnaissance,
Indeed.
intel.
Yes.
Through her family's mansion, she has multiple images of herself,
Yes.
paintings,
Mm-hmm.
but they're not just for self-flattery.
True.
They also serve a secondary purpose of hiding cameras,
Yes.
so she can spy on everybody and everything.
Right.
She has the big surveillance room where she can
Right.
see everything in a fly's eye.
So what's her plan here with this with the party?
Well, I thought she was going to initially take Kosuda
Mhm.
and ruin it for Yamada by
There's that, but there's also the plan with Keiichi. So it sounded like she wanted Keiichi to see that Yamada and Kosada are an item.
And then
yes,
he will give up his interest in pursuing her.
hopefully.
But where can she go with that? Because it's still her brother. Where's she going to take that? It seems like a half-baked plan, because
Very much so.
Even if she is successful, should she be the victim of her own success, she can't go anywhere with it.
Exactly. Very difficult spot for her to be in. So so this leads to probably my favorite
the interaction
in the episode.
I've got mine too.
So they're all kind of enjoying themselves, and again, Kanajo kind of has her moment where she wonders, is this the best plan? Is this really going to work? Do I really want to have Yamada there?
Do I want to invite her? Do I not want to?
Exactly. At which point Yamada stalks over and says, "Invite me to your stupid party.
Invite me to your stupid party."
And Kanajo says, "Okay," and just gives her the invitation.
She was cogitating whether she should invite, whether she shouldn't, and then Yamada shows up and says, "Invite me to your stupid party."
Okay.
Solves the problem.
Exactly. So she invites Kosada, of course.
As she's chasing her H carrot.
And the teacher has to come along as a chaperone.
Because there will be alcohol. And we can't condone serving alcohol to minors, but there will be other patrons, family members.
Well, it's funny. We were just watching some Azumanga earlier today, and you have the same, teacher that maybe is not the best role model for students in that.
I'll be there as a chaperone.
As a chaperone, yes, of course, as a chaperone. But so what surprised me about this episode, and well, first off, of course, we have to point out the giant ice sculptures.
Huge, as tall as the mansion on the mansion. Unbelievable. Just the lighting alone would pay for a teacher's salary for a year.
Yeah, easily.
Not to mention the sculpture itself.
And so the party continues. Excuse me.
This place is huge.
Oh my gosh.
It's a tree that's... Where do they get these gargantuan trees?
How do they get them into the house? My gosh.
And everybody is there.
Yeah.
All spiffy and in their party clothes.
Misoto is so overdressed. It's hilarious. And we were talking earlier about how much we're enjoying how they handle Misoto in this one. Misoto is kind of a little girl character.
Check her out.
It's hilarious.
So she's so cute.
And so obviously she is the lowly of the group. She is the one who looks the most like a little girl. And initially I was a little worried about how they portrayed her character.
Yeah.
She's constantly going after guys.
Even though she doesn't look as physically mature, her hormones seem to indicate that she's emotionally at that point where she wants to pursue guys with a passion.
And she's in the same grade.
And
So she's certainly the right age. But what I appreciate is how she has both a childish attitude towards this, where she's just full of energy and she's just
very
throwing
optimistic.
herself into it, very optimistic, and clearly has done her research. Talks about reading all of those dirty mags.
Aren't you
really
going to do it like they did in
these trashy magazines,
the love novels, and
exactly.
the trashy magazines?
But it's done in a way that isn't pervy.
It's an honest, natural growing stage, and it's not treated as something creepy.
Yeah, exactly. She wants to go out with a hot guy.
Yeah, and
Understandably,
lots of young girls want that older guy who like
exactly.
Oh,
Yeah. So yeah, I thought that was really adorable. So then we set up the basic issue of the episode. Well, of course, Keiichi makes his grand entrance as Santa Claus through the star at the top of the tree.
Boom! He comes out with a reindeer and sled appearing to fly through the air.
That? Remember, Misoto is just
our hearts.
She
latches onto him.
Yeah, exactly.
She won't let go. Meanwhile,
so here's our first major sort of plot point of the episode, or I guess second major, where Yamada comes over. Yamada wants to find out where to, go off with Kosuda. And so she goes off and asks Kanajo where the secret room is.
Where's the secret room? wait, what secret room?
Yeah.
Which secret? Misunderstandings.
Mm-hmm. And I love how this is able to deal with Kanajo's creepy older brother room, and having that backfire.
She's thinking, they found out about my secret room. They had no intention of that secret room. They wanted the room where you could be alone and it was a secret.
Right.
Not the secret room with the shrine to her brother love.
Yeah. But having a secret means that you are suddenly super sensitive to any mentions of anything unusual.
It brings to mind, obviously.
Exactly.
They must be talking about that.
Mm-hmm. So Yamada and Kosuda go off.
They're going to find their secret room.
They're going to find a secret room, and it's tough. They find a library.
Oh, it's too much like school.
But I really like this moment because they have a quiet moment together, and Kosuda makes his move. He goes over to Yamada.
Finally.
Yeah.
We're gonna.
The door closes.
Spend time together.
Exactly.
They're ready, but
Yamada's not ready yet. But again, I really appreciate this where he leans in for the kiss. She gets freaked out. She goes out and what does she say?
It's too much.
She says, I don't want to do it here. It's too much like school. What she would have said a couple episodes ago was, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
She's giving him direction now.
Finally. Okay. So as long as it's not school, let's go for something then.
Exactly.
At least he knows where to go. He's got some path of, okay, she's just not hating me.
Exactly. And you also notice how Yamada in general is much more.
There were a lot of pictures that she just passed in that.
There were.
And they were. Look at them. They're all the same. They're eyes everywhere. This girl.
Yes. Kanajo has a lot of paintings of herself. So we find out that Kanajo has her other secret room, with cameras in all of the eyes everywhere in the house, and she finds out the next major misunderstanding of the episode, which we both just burst out laughing when we realized this. So they're trying to find a room where they can be intimate, and the only room they find happens to be
the bedroom
of Kanajo. So
her personal bed.
Her own personal bed.
Her own personal bed. What does she do in there? Oh,
yes. So they jump on each other. There's this great line where he says, "I can't move," and she goes, "He's not moving. What's wrong?" Again, oh my gosh, just so many misunderstandings. And they start progressing. And okay, so it's obvious, Kanajo is sipping her tea. She's wondering where they are. It's
where
an
could
obvious
they have gone?
joke.
I've looked everywhere.
Right. But she turns and does the spit take.
Whoa!
And the spit take is still funny. I don't know how. But you have all the places to be for them to do that.
And this is a huge mansion. I mean, they put huge trees and had no problem flying around the trees.
Mm-hmm. So they start doing this, and we both enjoyed this moment where
Kisu,
where Yamada says, "Don't worry, I've done this once before. I'm an expert." It's not how it works, Yamada.
Yeah, I kissed with tongue once before. I'm an expert.
Really? It's
the eyes! Come on, did those eyes just move?
Yeah,
in that picture. No.
So
I can't get the zipper open.
And again, here's what I appreciate: they're starting to get a physical. He's trying to undress her. She gets embarrassed. But what does she do? She turns around,
helps him out.
Right.
Oh,
by offering him.
He's fiddling, trying to get the back, and he obviously doesn't know what it is.
Right. points it right to him. Which, again, they're starting to actually communicate. Imagine that. So Kanajo has to find something.
Meanwhile,
oh my gosh,
he's got the little monkey.
So
she's so sweet.
Oh, she's so
She's got
sweet.
so much enthusiasm.
She does.
And he's just sitting there. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, Misoto is just convinced she's found her man, and he's just not even seeing her.
She's ready to marry him.
Right.
Okay, we're gonna sign papers. We're gonna get married. We'll be forever.
And again, here's what I appreciate where how they portray that they don't show Misoto having her heart broken. They don't show her taking it. She's obviously taking it seriously in the sense that she's very excited about this, but it's done so over the top and so silly that she's just throwing herself into it. They're not hearing each other at all.
The communication is all one way.
And so we come back and
he's gotten to the bra.
Yep.
Of course, the standard. Hey, how does this thing work?
But he gets it off pretty quickly.
I'm surprised there was no nosebleed there. At that
No kidding.
Point. That's for me. That's the nosebleed point. But she doesn't reject it outright.
No, she doesn't. Absolutely.
They finally,
she sits there.
She resisted.
He
and he's
grabs
terrified.
her. Right.
But
exactly.
He's thinking, behold the key.
And again, I appreciate how they're showing that both of the characters don't really know what they're doing, but they're kind of helping each other and guiding each other, and kind of letting each other do their own thing, if you will. But Kanojo shows up, and then that felt good.
She's worried about being expressive,
That's
the
funny.
last thing she should be worried about. It's great. She's finally communicating how she feels, what she wants, what she doesn't.
She keeps saying, I have to hold back. I can't show him how much
she's gonna go
effective it is.
Yeah.
And here's the other funny thing. I mean, if you want to have sex with 100 guys,
you're gonna have
to express
something.
Yeah.
So they've been wondering where they went to, and this is the perfect excuse to go and interrupt them.
Right. I love how the best friend just opens the curtains. Just come on. Just go with it. And of course, we have
nothing there.
Right.
Where'd they go?
Classic hiding in the closet situation. Although they're clearly not in the closet, but they are
of course
hiding in the closet. Oh gosh, this scene.
So when they find out whose bed they were in, they begin to imagine
what might be going on there. This is certainly the most.
What does Kanojo do in that bed that we were just in?
Has there been a kinkier image
there's
in the show before this?
I'm not sure what that is she's holding.
I think it's
I
peanut
don't know
butter.
that's what I was.
Yeah.
Some edible.
So for those who don't see the video, they're imagining what's happening, and we see Kanojo in a nightie, holding up a tub of something,
encouraging a pet that's panting.
Yes, exactly. That's all we see.
Let your imagination wander.
Exactly. Yes. Wow is all I can say.
Of course.
Kanojo?
Kanojo is he's got different things fighting for his attention.
Oh yes.
Like clogs that he's sitting on that are pinching.
Yeah, not exactly the most comfortable place to be. But they're doing their, they gotta hide. They gotta hide. Which leads to another great little moment where they have to.
They've almost been exposed.
So they have to redirect and misdirect. And so Yamada does it with a meow.
I'm a cat
I
in the closet.
I think you're actually being more realistic than Yamada was.
What was hers? Meow.
Yeah, it was basically just meow.
Meow.
So everyone knows what exactly that is.
That was
Yamada. Yeah, just like, get out. No, I'm not going to have this happen. And again, we see
their expressions as they're hiding in the closet.
Great. And so again, we see Kanojo kind of destroying her own plans as she goes, and so sabotaging herself, because the whole idea here was to get another witness to what's going on. But then as soon as she has an opportunity to show that off, she pushes the person away.
She changes it,
because she suddenly realizes she doesn't want the public discovery of what's going on. She can't quite handle that. Which I guess
how did she find out about it? Well, because she's been spying on everybody. That can't go public, because then they'll find out about
the secret room, which somebody's been in, which is very scary.
It's been infiltrated
by Miyano, who's been wandering around trying to find something. How does Miyano?
How do you get past the security?
So Miyano is clearly the Mihoshi of this series. She has just the most amazing bad luck, but it is amazing luck in its own way.
Luck nonetheless.
But luck nonetheless, exactly. And Miyano, rather than being horrified, is impressed.
She wants one, just like it, with someone different in it, though.
Yeah. Whereupon, and again, this is kind of interesting, where Kosuda again steps up, and so Yamada and Kosuda sort of walk away. Phew, managed to miss that, and Kosuda said, "Wait, hold on. We still have time.
We have 10 minutes.
We have 10 minutes. Do you want to keep on doing this?"
Some people's minds.
It's true. It certainly is. And Yamada realizes, hey, yeah, but not right now.
Conk.
not this second.
We're gonna wait
a
long time till tomorrow.
But at least it's not a year.
Yeah, they've made progress, though.
They sure have. It's pretty awesome. It's really starting to move somewhere. And then poor Misoto has come back with a forged marriage certificate to Keiichi.
I've got the license. I've got the paper. I forged it because he didn't sign it.
Not gonna work. Sorry, honey.
No.
So that is Yamada's first time. One more episode to go.
One more episode. Oh, it's over so quickly.
Yeah.
Yamada. She's gonna be like a rabbit on this last one.
Yeah, I don't think she's gonna make it.
I think I'll be happy if she makes one.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. That's it. We'll see what happens next episode.
Cool. This is Smoke and Mirrors from Moon Base
Beta. Yes. Nice. Cool. All right. You got the pre-orders for the new Ghibli Blu-ray releases. Awesome. Cool. So that's, I think, The Cat Returns and something else. No, you're right, Liquidus. They have the most amazing range of genres in Japan. All sorts of stuff. Love Simulator. What loves? Dating Sim. Yeah. Japanese game. Though he only takes panty shots and what he thinks as he goes on dates during a summer of island school life is the name of the game. That's pretty impressive. Summertime high school young man's notes. Yeah, they're going with the really long names after Oremo came out. That really worked. So game stuff. I actually have seen I Can't Understand What My Husband Is Saying. That's a really fun show.
That sounds funny.
It's about an otaku marries a regular woman. They're both like in college, and she just doesn't understand what he's saying. What's nice about it, actually, to that point, is that they don't play that too far in either direction. One of the things I really liked about the show, and it's only 5-minute episodes, but like, she just doesn't get his references. She doesn't get things, but like, they have a very strong relationship.
That's good.
They don't make a lot of jokes at that expense. She's not seen as dumb or too normal or whatever.
Just not familiar.
Exactly. Yeah. And he's not shown as too weird. A little weird, but not too weird.
A fan.
Exactly. But just he makes references that just come the way it is.
Kind of like me at work, I suppose.
Yeah, yeah. I think we've all been there. What are you talking about?
I don't know. Statement again, but nobody's going to get the reference. So.
Exactly. And then we're back to the Haruhi stuff. Cool. Let's move on to the news.
We have news.
We have news. We have so much news.
We have news.
We're gonna have
for
to
you.
pull it up for here because we actually.
I do have playback if you want to run a.
But
we're not
But we're
hooked
not
in
hooked
there.
up. But yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
But I got a speaker. I got a microphone.
That's true.
2 turntables and a microphone. I don't know. Are we going to get in trouble for me saying that? Beck,
Saying what?
don't sue us.
Let's see here. I want Horizons.
So, around the universe, down the street, and in your backyard, we bring you
Yes.
Horizons
The news show.
with Brent.
And Evan. When news breaks,
We fix it.
and now I have to actually pull up the news. 1 second, guys.
So, today, in the news, Smoke and Mirrors relocates to Moonbase Beta.
Exactly. Yes. Very exciting. Oh, frack. This isn't going to be the right one. Because that is that one.
And
it is possible. Oh, good. I lucked out. I kept it open. Huzzah! All right.
Follow
Welcome
up
to
to a
Sorry.
follow up to a previous story. In response to One Piece winning a Guinness World Record, Shonen Jump has digitally republished the entire issue in which One Piece premiered. In addition, Shonen Jump launched an iOS and Android app that will republish the entire series for free over time. New chapters will appear daily in the app.
Pretty cool. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
We also have more details on the story for the new Dragon Ball Super series. The show will be set just after the defeat of Majin Buu. Chi-Chi has ordered Goku to start earning some money in this story, while Goten and Trunks search for a present for Videl. Also, Beerus and Whis, I think that they're pronounced, from the Battle of the Gods movie will return as regular characters. So this is going to be an original story set after all those events, and it will be moving on from there.
A new Beyblade anime series is in the works. Beyblade Burst will be the third generation of the franchise. The anime studio Oriental Light and Magic will produce the series. It will be directed by Katsushiro Akiyama of Bubblegum Crisis, El Hazard, The Wanderers, and
Inazuma.
Inazuma 11, and written by Hideki Sonoda, who also worked on the Pokemon franchise.
Cool. Interesting getting a Pokemon person on Beyblade.
Yeah.
Anime Souls, the beleaguered anime streaming site that tried to crowdfund classic series, both for streaming and DVD production, has made an interesting announcement in the wake of their closing.
They're closing? No!
They're closing, yeah, I know. They closed, I think, back in May of this year. This is a little while ago. Their entire remaining stock of DVDs must go by the end of June.
Ooh.
So only a few days from now, really.
Uh-oh.
And if they don't go, they will go. Company staff will physically destroy all remaining discs.
Why?
Well, purely to avoid getting taxed on them.
Oh.
Yeah.
So if anybody wants those DVDs,
Go to animesols.com. It's SOLS.com. And order them soon. They got a lot of classic anime up there. Now is the time.
it's better to buy those than have the assets destroyed.
Exactly.
So go there quick.
Yeah, I know.
Crunchyroll. Want to be bold. Crunchyroll will stream the new live-action Death Note TV series in the United States and Europe. The show will premiere July 5th in Japan and then will air on Crunchyroll and other services a few days after broadcast. This show will involve a new story that has not yet been previously adapted and will include the character of Nier.
Cool. A trailer appeared this week for an upcoming movie from Studio 4C. The movie is called Mutafukas and is based on the comic of the same name by Ron Renard. This is a French comic. It's another French-Japanese co-production, which happens a lot for some reason. Several major staff members from Studio 4C's earlier anime film, Tekken King Crete, are also working on this film. The comic is set in a, quote, pre-apocalyptic American urban jungle, end quote, and will premiere in 2007. At least that's the plan.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
2017?
2017.
Wow.
Thank you. Yeah. Oops.
Funimation has announced a deal with Universal Pictures where Universal will distribute Funimation's entire catalog.
Wow.
Wow. This looks like it'll allow Funimation to hand over distribution duties to Universal, while Universal adds over 400 Funimation's titles to its catalog.
Nice.
That's a big change in the industry there.
That sure is, and I'm hoping the idea is that it'll kind of free up Funimation to spend more of its time on acquisitions and all that stuff instead of pressing DVDs and all the other kind of distribution stuff and marketing and so forth. Who knows?
Hopefully it won't decrease in quality.
Yes, exactly. We'll see. Moving on to anime conventions coming up this weekend. Cons. Lovely cons, wonderful cons. Florida SuperCon in the Miami Beach Convention Center in Miami, Florida. That's been operating since 2006.
Wow.
Guests, many guests include the 501st Legion of Star Wars costumers, Caitlin Glass, the voice actress and ADR director, she is. Vic Mignogna, J. Michael Tatum, and a number of Star Wars, Star Trek, and Doctor Who actors. It's like a couple of dozen of them. Really big con down there.
OmniCon, June 26th through 27th at McAllen Convention Center in McAllen, Texas.
Cool.
They've been going on since 2008, so a little bit newer.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the guests featured will be Bryce Papenbrook, voice actor, and Sonny Strait, voice actor.
Cool.
Check it out.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're down in Australia, head on down to the Supernova Pop Culture Expo in Perth. And I'm going to do this accent just to annoy all you Australians. That's this weekend at the Perth Convention and Exhibition Center in Perth.
Who's going to be there?
Jeremy Lay and Veronica Taylor, voice actresses, as well as a number of others. It's been going since 2001, so pretty long-standing con. Yeah.
Cost Day, June 27th through 28th in Nordwest Zentrium, Frankfurt, Virginia. Frankfurt, Germany.
Okay, good. Frankfurt, Virginia. I haven't heard of that.
Nordwest Zentrium. That sounded like a fictional name almost. Wow. Northwest Zentrium.
I take a Nordwest Zentrum every day for my inflammation.
Multivitamin.
Yes, exactly.
Zentrum 21.
Nordwest Zentrum 21. And if you're over in France, head over to Japan Addict in Strasbourg, France, at the Zenith Europe. It's been going since 2004, so it's 10 years old now.
10 years.
Yes.
Tenure. They've received. They finally got tenure.
Exactly.
Anime Expo in Los Angeles, California, at the LA Convention Center, not Louisiana.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's gonna happen on July 2nd through 5th over the holidays.
Yeah.
So check it out.
Absolutely.
It's gonna be a bundle of fun.
It's huge. Absolutely. Moving on to Kickstarters. So my own Otaku Brain Trust Anime Convention is not going well. It's at $220 of the over 5,000 needed to fund this. I know. This intellectually focused anime convention in Virginia, scheduled for February of next year. 22 days to go, though. So
spread the word.
Exactly. Still time to go. Look for Otaku Brain Trust on Kickstarter.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
What was it? What was the name of that company that was going to destroy the discs again? Those dicks who are going to destroy the discs. Come on, keep the discs alive, man.
That was Anime Souls.
Anime Souls. S-O-U-L-S?
S-O-L-S.
S-O-L-S.
As in sun.
S-O-L-S. Oh, soul, like the sun. Solar, like the flares.
Yeah, exactly.
Anime Souls.
Yeah.
So, those can still be purchased at the last minute now.
Hopefully, yeah.
Saved from the fire.
Yeah, animesouls.com. Hopefully.
So, Anime Ego's Kickstarter for Otaku no Video is now at $85,849, over double its goal, and only a few days remaining.
Boy,
if you want to get in on it, do so now. Only $25 US gets you the Blu-ray shipped anywhere in the world except Japan.
Yeah.
In that case, talk with me. Maybe I'll come and visit you and drop it off.
Good old international licensing rights. Yeah. You know, you gotta get that worked out. I'm glad you mentioned the US dollars, because we get Australian dollars and all that stuff. So
Zimbabwe dollars.
Right. So you gotta mention it. Update on the Kickstarter for Asterion, a French-Japanese co-production of a 13-episode interactive anime series. They're looking to raise about $151,000 by the end of July, and they've raised about $9,600 so far. The trailer looks like features extremely high-quality animation. I wish we could show you some because it's beautiful. Staff members include a Studio Ghibli alumnus and several other distinguished anime staff, including Hiroshi Shimizu of Michiko and Hatchin and the Lupin III Fujiko Mine series. So very high-quality animation episodes there.
That's quite a collection of folks working on that.
Exactly.
That would be great to see that funded.
Yeah.
And so that's going to be a sort of choose your destination, your adventure.
Yeah. So every episode will have some decision points in it, and depending on what you choose, will change the story. Yeah, interesting. We'll see how it goes.
Here's an odd one. Fred Fernell. No, there's no R in there. Fennell. Fred Fennell of Melbourne, Australia, has never watched anime. He's launched a Kickstarter to raise $78. If funded, he will watch 10 anime series non-stop for over 48 hours.
Huh.
Pledge $5 to receive his reviews, or $10 to name a show that he has to watch it.
Wow.
So that sounds like fun.
Sure does.
Yeah,
it's kind of weird.
If he gets overfunded, can we force him to do like 96 hours of anime? You're gonna watch it all in one sitting.
I'd love to know where he arrived at $78 exactly.
Yeah, how did he come in?
I don't know. I mean,
that's 78 US too, not Australian.
Yeah,
it's Australian dollars.
I don't. Well, I think Kickstarter just converted it to US probably.
Maybe that's how much it costs to stream.
Well, yeah, he was saying he's not going to stream it.
He's not going to stream it. He's going to watch it.
Yeah. Yeah. He said he's going to need energy drinks. So that's where some of the money is going to go to. But I don't know. Maybe it's.
This sounds like a standard weekend for me.
Yeah.
48 hours of anime finally. Work is out of the way. Binge.
I'll take $78 for that.
Yeah.
Any day.
I'll do it for half that.
Right. Absolutely.
Shoot, I usually pay to do that.
Exactly. Moving on to the anime releases of the week, starting with Discotheque Media. They released Lupin III, the Castle of Cagliostro film on Blu-ray. MSRP is $30, so it'll street for probably around 20.
Funimation is releasing Attack on Titan book and Ultimate Collector's Bundle.
Woof.
Wow.
Yeah.
At a whopping $199.93. It's a Funimation exclusive.
Yep. Wow.
Funimation Origin Spirits of the Past DVD is come out in the Save Edition, and it's a mere $15, $14.98 for those of you who are counting pennies. It's definitely a good deal there. Funimation also has released the Blu-ray version, also Save, for $19.98.
Not bad, $20.
Ping Pong, the animation, the complete series, Blu-ray DVD combo, is also come out at $59.98.
Nice. Ping Pong was that kind of controversial series using all the rotoscope animation back in the day. Very, very distinctive. NIS America has released Nyaruko Crawling with Love Season 1. Nyaruko is the series in which all of the Cthulhu mythos gods are represented as cute anime moe girls. Oh yeah.
My goodness.
It's interesting. I believe I'm getting that one correct. Standard edition on Blu-ray for $55, sub only. They're also releasing Wagnaria 2, complete second series, standard edition on Blu-ray, also for $55, sub only. And Yuru Yuri Happy Go Lily Season 1, standard edition on Blu-ray only, $55 for the sub only.
Oh, I can't wait. Sentai Films, Hayate, the Combat Butler, Cuties, complete collection. $49.98. Not only that, there's also the Blu-ray that's come out for $59.98. They are subs.
True.
So
it should also be pointed out, this is Hayate the Combat Butler Cuties, not the original series.
Important to distinguish that.
Absolutely. And then finally, Viz Media is releasing the 25th set of Bleach.
Oh my goodness. And I still can't get that stain out.
That'll be $44.82. Bleach set 25. It's amazing. So as always, thanks to the DVD Talk Forum folks for their anime releases, Kickstarter for all of their stuff, animecons.com for their listing of anime conventions, and Anime News Network, as well as PR Newswire for their anime news. That's it for this week.
And for the news, thanks for joining us from around the world, and in the universe,
and under the moon.
And under the moon. Good night.
Good night. There we go. Oh. Wow, you see, if I did it with that, I'd probably crack something.
Cthulhu.
Yes.
Cthulhu, crawling with love.
Cthulhu. So the Attack on Titan, yes, I believe it is a complete series box with the art book. For the Attack on Titan book and Ultimate Collector's bundle. Because at $200, it better be the complete series. Yeah, that was Naruto Crawling with Love. Yeah, or was that another Cthulhu-related anime? I think there's only the one. What are you always wondering since you're joking about Bleach? Let's see here. So scrolling back up, what you guys are talking about. Silicon Knights.
Unreal Engine 3.
There were Orders Royale copies, legal battle. Oh yeah, so that so often companies will release something without getting the appropriate license for it. And so if it enters a legal battle, they will often be required to destroy all copies of their thing because it's not a legitimate copy.
Yeah, you got to go through the proper licensing.
Yeah.
Also, if your company is going bankrupt and you have assets on your books.
Yeah. Well, and that's the interesting thing about this is because I got a little mad when I read this because they're destroying the copies because if they keep the copies, they are considered assets and they'll be taxed on those assets.
I don't want to have the taxes.
Well, but here's the thing. I mean,
but they're fans.
They started this thing because, and I've talked to the people, face to face. They presented themselves as being fans who wanted to see all this great old anime brought to audiences.
Couldn't they second sell their stock?
Well, which arguably is kind of what they're trying to do now. They're trying to sell that on their website.
I'll pay shipping, just box it up and send it.
Right. I don't know. I mean, I would hope they would do something like that.
A bucket disc or something.
You'd think.
Suddenly, $18,000 later, I realized that I've only scratched the surface of their entire inventory.
Quite
and
possible.
I've got another $200,000 worth of the same copy of one.
Yeah, I guess it's just it's sad that they are physically destroying anime, physical copies of anime to save money. And it's an understandable cost. I mean, they're out of business. They don't have money to throw around. But it's just sad that they're making that.
You hate to see good things go to waste.
Exactly.
Especially when fans like you and me and everybody else can enjoy them at a save rate.
Well, and the other funny thing is I was at a panel they were at, and they were consciously, and they were doing giveaways, and they were they were not giving away their anime except to people who had specifically backed that thing on their site. And I was like, maybe you want to give it to people who haven't already bought it and who could then evangelize it instead of holding it back for only those few people who've actually done it. So, it's that kind of thing, which is kind of unfortunate that more people won't be able to see stuff. And so a lot of Osamu Tezuka stuff, they got to license, a lot of old mecha series. So it's pretty cool. Let's see here. In Japan, anime tends to be released in 2 episodes, right? No. In Japan, anime tends to be released in like 2 episodes. No. Do you mean something other than episode? Because they release 1 episode a week in Japan, almost always.
Maybe on discs, a disc with 2 episodes on it.
Oh yes. Okay, yes. So that would be yeah. Yeah. So if it's at all, well, major popular series will be released 2 episodes on a disc. That is certainly true. If it's a less popular, it'll be 3 per disc.
Can't wait for the box set. Gotta have next episode.
Yeah. I've never seen a Japanese animated collector's collection of a popular series like Naruto or One Piece. Correct. Can you imagine how huge that would be? That would be kind of absurd. And that's why they don't do it, because it would just no one could afford it. No one could possibly afford it.
Does that at some point? When does it go from box set to crate set?
Yeah, exactly. Refrigerator crate set. My gosh. Yeah, no, that is very true.
Pokemon.
I wonder how that. I mean,
I have stacks of Pokemon VHS. It would be nice to condense to disc, but even when they condense to disc,
gotta do by file.
Wow.
I'm assuming that the Naruto and Bleach and One Piece fan base rely heavily on rentals and streaming and such. I'm betting there aren't a lot of collectors collecting every episode of those shows, especially because they're aimed at a slightly younger audience, so they're generally not going to have the disposable income to buy every collector's edition. They're gonna rent the discs.
Yeah, collector's editions are usually aimed at people who will purchase those.
Yeah,
and that's
yeah, it's different. Yeah, shows like Attack on Titan. I mean, while aimed at a younger audience, there's the assumption that they're going to be otaku that are going to actually buy the $80.
The sad thing is sometimes younger kids will use stuff and destroy it in the process.
True.
So it's harder for them to collect things.
That is true. Right Stuff did completely rewrite their website recently, which was kind of cool.
I've got to check that out.
Yeah, it's nice. They've kind of cleaned it up a bit. The old website's been around for a decade. I didn't feel like a website redesign was worthy of a news story. As nice as it is, I mean, it certainly happened, but I feel like, okay, so they redesigned the website. It doesn't really shake the world. Same thing with this. So sadly, one of the voice actors who worked on Doraemon for many decades passed away this week. I used to do that and stories of voice actors passing in the news. The problem is, again, it turns into one of those. As useful as it is to do that, when it's when it's not a major character on a well-known series, people can't connect to it, and so it becomes something where it happened and it moves on. But I kind of have to.
There's only a certain amount of time to be able to report the news, so you have to kind of pick and choose certain things. Quite frequently, we'll get reports of all sorts of different smaller anime clubs that are in a library in a small town, and it would be great to be able to report all those, but the time it takes to clip those out of the news articles and put them into a context makes it almost not viable for us to get into the news broadcast and still cover all the larger bases. So, but if there's an interest in that kind of thing, we can consider it in the future. Well, condolences though.
Exactly. Yes, absolutely. It's always a sad thing, and it's always hard to decide what's the cutoff. We could go for 2 hours talking about all of the stories.
And funerals are sad. I don't think I'm going to go to my own.
Well, I'll be there.
I want to be there late to my own funeral. If I'm going to die, I'm going to show up fashionably late. Oh, where is he?
I need to find somebody for my funeral who will do something like what, what's his name? John Cleese did at the funeral for Graham Chapman. Where he went up and said, many people here will tell you that Graham was a brilliant man, amazingly funny, and just one of the great people that they ever met. Well, I'm here to tell you that sod them, he was a dick. and that's what everyone did. Everyone just busted up laughing. And everyone said there's just this huge sense of relief in the audience. And everyone's just let it all out. Yes. And he put some jokes in it. And he said, I cannot imagine Graham wanting a funeral of himself that did not include laughter.
Humor heals.
Exactly. And he said, we can't just be serious here this whole entire time. We have to celebrate the life of somebody who was amazingly funny by being funny ourselves. So I need somebody who will just bust everyone else up by saying so you have to reset your password on the new Right Stuff site. That's an interesting point. New infrastructure. That's good, actually.
Update passwords. My head hurts. I can't keep all the passwords in it.
It's so
I'm gonna write them on a Post-it and put it on my computer so everybody can read it.
No. But yeah, no, it's good that they're updating their infrastructure for a new encrypted password scheme, because we've seen too many websites get bit by that.
Too many governments.
Yeah. Hello, OPM. But yeah, that's good that they're saying okay, and I like that they're saying basically, the first time you log in, you log in with the old system, because in other words,
Must update password.
Right,
Old password will not work.
And I mean, a lot of other sites will basically say, we're going to require you to reset your password to begin with. Instead, you log in, you can kind of do your stuff, but you have to reset your password immediately.
Forced.
Right. But they're not, annihilating all their old accounts. The only Ghibli movies Disney still hasn't released yet are Only Yesterday, My Neighbors the Yamadas, When Marnie Was There, and Ocean Waves. That's because they're not Miyazaki movies. Disney's Disney licensed Miyazaki movies, and they also pulled in license for a few other Ghibli films, like Pompoko and a few others. I think they got all of Takahata's movies, but there are a few others that they didn't grab immediately, so they've released a lot of those on DVD. But Blu-ray, they're kind of not worried about because they're not Miyazaki movies.
I'm amazed at your knowledge. I'm constantly in.
Well, you watch the news wires for 20 years. It's funny how that goes. Is it true Disney won't release Only Yesterday, and why? I thought they had. That's interesting. I was not aware they had not released Only Yesterday. The only reasons I can think that they would have a problem with that, there is a scene where the main character as a young girl gets slapped by her father. Although I mean, she is being kind of whiny. And then there's an extended bath scene with her, but it's no worse than what's in My Neighbor Totoro.
As if people don't bathe.
Right, I know. And it's in a big bathhouse with other people. But yeah, and that's really the only problematic content I can think of in that thing. There's a wonderful sequence about her falling in love for the first time, and nothing problematic there, but very visual. No, I don't think there's anything else in Only Yesterday that Disney would balk at. Again, I think it's just because it isn't by any of the major Ghibli people. Takahata, did Takahata do Only Yesterday? He may have. I don't know, but I suspect that there isn't anything there. Yeah, if they're blocked on that, that could also be some kind of rights license issue where somebody else is kind of blocked up. I don't know. So, what other shows are coming up? So Culture Shock is chugging along quite nicely.
Culture Shock.
Yes. So more episodes of that coming up on Friday, as always.
Check that out.
Exactly. Grave of the Firefly is an interesting point. I'll talk about that in a second. We've also been doing a new show, some live streams of a new show that you'll be seeing soon called Open Gundam Style.
Open Gundam Style.
Open
Gundam Style.
So,
Gundam.
yes. So for those of you who haven't been seeing those live streaming, we've been watching the first 5 episodes at a time of original Mobile Suit Gundam.
Binge watch.
Exactly.
Join us. Binge watch and come and build.
Totally. So we watch 5 episodes, and then we sit down and we build Gundam model kits. Gunpla, it's called.
Gunpla.
Yeah.
Gunpla. Building models.
Yeah.
Building models. But Gundam models.
So Gundam models. And so
Going with the
we're
Gundam
building
theme.
those. I've built a Build Strike Gundam, and Evan, you're working on.
I always mix up the name at the end.
Yeah.
It's something.
It's
other
from
than what it is.
Gundam Unicorn.
See, I'm not as familiar with all the Gundam series because it's a whole franchise, a whole series of multiverses. It's not
Exactly.
even a universe; it's a multiverse.
Yeah.
And so I'm experiencing Gundam for the first time, 10 episodes into the original Gundam series, and hopefully we can go through a lot of them. It's ambitious at this point to say I'll go through all of them.
Yeah.
As much as I'd desire to do so. I'm not sure that that may be feasible, but I'd like to see what everybody out there thinks is a really good one to go to after this, and check those out. Get a good, well-rounded Gundam education.
Yeah. It's the Gundam Banshee Norn, by the way.
I always want to say something else instead of Norn at that end.
From Gundam Unicorn. Beautiful, kind of black and gold.
Check them out on set when we get them built.
Exactly. And I'll be starting on a flat from Turn A Gundam. Actually, we'll just call it a flat, which is kind of a weird name. But so Open Gundam style episodes of that will be coming up soon once we get a chance to edit them and put them together and so forth.
Hi.
So we certainly committed to finishing up and doing all of Mobile Suit Gundam. And from there, we'll have to see. We may move on with more original Universal Century. We may jump to other series. We'll see.
I kind of like going with release dates because then I can get a historical perspective from the animation style. But did they have concurrent series that were or simultaneous series, which is going to make time travel? How do I do that?
Ask Mikuru. But we can go by first broadcast date. So whenever the first episode of each thing started, we'll start from there. We'll make it work. And the other advantage is that once you get further into Universal Century, the stories are happening at different times in the timeline. So this is happening, earlier. This is happening later. So it doesn't really matter which one you watch before or after the other one.
Good to have some flexibility in those kind of decisions.
Exactly. Yeah. And maybe somewhere we get halfway through and realize, let's move on to something else. That
play
happens.
This one and fast forward.
Yeah. Exactly. But I mean, I like all Gundam, so I don't think we'll have a problem with that. What else are we doing?
Tech.
Oh, yeah, tech thing. Well,
Do we have names?
We don't yet, and we don't really have any footage yet. But we are planning some tech shows, talking about the Raspberry Pi.
This is cool. I can't wait to do this.
Yeah.
I'm going to set up the Pi as a over-the-top sort of device for my television and set up a home server to stream. So all these anime shows that I've got have stored on a hard drive somewhere and then just use the Pi as a display device. It's replacing my DVD player, my VHS, my Comcast box. It's my box.
So to give you an idea, what I have at home is a little Raspberry Pi mini computer sitting in a basket, and it's actually referencing another Pi somewhere else. But anyway,
in the sky,
Pi in the sky, into which are plugged a bunch of USB drives, and those have all of the anime on it. So I can just pull all the data right off there and play it directly.
What show do I want?
Exactly.
What's really cool is how you've got it set up to use your remote control on that.
Yeah. So the remote control on that is actually both this and this now.
So his watch and his phone are his remote control.
I can actually just the other day I was controlling I was watching anime by starting and stopping it and fast forwarding and so forth on the watch. We can also there's a remote control app for the phone, Android, iOS, and you just use that to start, stop, find
now, if
stuff.
I could get one that does it as a ring.
There
thumbs
we go.
Up,
I like
thumbs
it.
down,
Yes.
thumbs up.
Or like a Green Lantern ring.
I like this movie. I gave it 2 thumbs up. I didn't like this movie. I gave it the finger.
We'll have to do that. We'll have to wire that up. That would be awesome. So we're going to talk all about doing those cool kinds of things.
And another neat tech thing, you've built your own arcade stand-up.
True. Yeah. So I built an arcade cabinet, which I think some of you guys have seen. Yeah. That's sitting at home. So we'll talk about how to buy, again, one of these little $30 pies and use that to drive a full arcade cabinet. I can even share with you guys the plans for how to build one. So it's pretty simple. It's a couple pieces of wood all tacked together, and then you find an old, big old monitor. What I did with that, actually, I put out a call locally to say, does anyone have an old CRT monitor? Because a lot of folks will have an old 23-inch CRT monitor in a basement somewhere that they don't want to plug in or do anything with, but it still works. So I'll go over. It weighs 90,000 pounds. But no one wants to use it anymore. So it's a good way of getting a nice big monitor for free.
Yeah.
Because no one wants to actually like physically move it too, so that helps. So we got those coming up, and then what else do we have? I'm trying to remember. I don't know. Going back to your questions there. Yeah, there's a scene referencing periods, but I don't think Disney would freak out about that. That doesn't strike me as something that would stop them when Princess Mononoke has heads flying off, and references to forced prostitution.
Oh wow, yeah. Some shows simply don't get that G rating. Huh?
Yeah, it's true, but it's hard to say. But yeah, and I think it's just a low priority for them. I mean, Only Yesterday is something that it's one of the least favorite Ghibli movies. So I think they're just kind of like, why should we spend a lot of money on this? The reason they didn't get Grave of the Fireflies, the Grave of the Fireflies is not a Studio Ghibli movie. It was made before Studio Ghibli existed, and is not, as far as I understand, is not part of the Studio Ghibli licensing package. So Disney does not have the rights to that, and again, it's something that the reason they're doing that is because people do not is because the animators at Disney really wanted Ghibli movies, Miyazaki movies especially, released in America. It was kind of an internal push. It wasn't because Disney loves anime. This is not a philanthropic thing on Disney's side. They wanted the animators inside said, we use Miyazaki's movies as references. We need these to be available in America. So Disney said, okay, we're going to license them and release them over here. But they're not. Disney's not actively looking for anime movies to license. Kind of a different thing.
They'd rather do their own money making.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think they stopped with, I forget what movie Ghibli movie they stopped with, but yeah, they're not releasing any of the more recent Ghibli films either. I think they did The Wind Rises because that's a Miyazaki thing. So yeah, so if you guys are interested in the anime convention, Otaku Brain Trust, please head over to Kickstarter and Google Otaku Brain Trust.
Otaku Brain Trust.
And tell your friends if there's anyone that you know of who might at all be interested, and indeed anyone who you think of who might be able to share it with their friends.
Get in on the foundation level.
Exactly, and let folks know. Only a couple of bucks will help, and we will definitely send you guys information about that. If you back even with just $5, you get access to materials ahead of time.
Intelligent anime in a world of artificial intelligence. We have official intelligence.
Exactly. Some of the topics we'll include. We're going to have a panel about religion in anime and Christianity in anime and how that's shown. We'll have a panel about Kadokawa, which is a company that publishes light novels, and how they really push that as a major source for anime. We'll have a panel on anime and education and how anime is making inroads into the education space.
Would that include stuff like manga?
Yes, it would.
Because I remember seeing a series on statistics, a manga guide to statistics, manga guide to physics, manga guide to I think there's another one in the series.
I think astronomy, maybe something like
that. There's a whole series, and they're quite entertaining and educational at the same time.
Yeah. So topics like that will be in there. I will probably be doing
author.
I will be doing one or two of the panels there, depending on how many panelists actually appear. So I will be doing my brief history of anime panel and or my panel on mythical tropes in anime.
Mythical tropes?
Yeah. So how mythic tropes are handled differently in Japan versus the West, and anime particularly. So the hero's journey, the values shown in epic stories, how those are done differently in different cultures. So Otaku Brain Trust, definitely please check that out.
So that's on Kickstarter.
It's on Kickstarter.
Otaku Brain Trust.
Otaku Brain Trusts. Exactly. So please check that out. Also, please check out our website at geekspectrum.org for more episodes of all of this stuff.
And you can send us email.
Exactly. Yes. So contact at geekspectrum.org. Will get in touch with us.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. And I also would love a big Blu-ray set of all Ghibli films. But again, I don't know if that's going to happen.
I saw some place that was selling them, but it turned out it was a pirated site, and I was sorely displeased that I found that out after I had tried to purchase some items from them. But I did get my money back, which was good.
Wow.
So they never followed through on their promises, and after doing a little bit of investigation, I realized if something's too good to be true, Better Business Bureau will back it up and say, yeah, it's too good to be true. So do some research.
At least you got your money back.
Yeah, I got my money back.
That's good.
But I was so disappointed because I wanted the discs.
Yeah. And to be fair, I mean, since Ghibli is more or less shuttering its animation side of the house, it could be one of those things where Disney is saying, okay, there's no reason to sort of pursue that further.
But we see several people who have left that, who are now working on new endeavors, and that may be the direction that things take.
And to be fair,
the Kickstarter that they've got, who knows?
Absolutely. And Ghibli was always sort of a pet project by Miyazaki and his friends to form a studio where they could make their own movies. It was never intended as a general model for the industry. It was kind of a pet project for them, where they could finance and make things their way. So the fact that it kind of
spun off its own spin-offs.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what's going to happen, is that it was kind of their little microcosmic world. And I think Ghibli will still exist as an entity. And there will still be people, doing stuff at Ghibli. And I wouldn't be surprised if they get back into movies or at least animation. But I think it's going to serve very much as that kind of creating sort of a diaspora of people who saw that quality and moved on from there, much like Toei Animation was from Miyazaki originally. That's where he came from, and that spawned all sorts of interesting people. Yes, the bootleg complete collection for Tenchi. I saw that as well, actually. Yeah, there are a lot of bootlegs out there, and like you say,
and compression is a whole science in and of itself. Yeah. So when somebody does it right, it looks really good, and when they don't, if you're used to quality, you really notice it. If you're not used to quality, or you're watching on something where there's not enough pixels to really show a missing quality, you might not notice it.
Yeah, aspect ratio too.
Aspect ratio is a big deal.
My Turn A Gundam bootleg box set the aspect ratio is funky. It was in some interesting aspect ratio. They just didn't convert it right, So again, it's fine, but
it's got a whole science to it.
Yeah,
there's more to it than just 16:9. 2.31, and then there's anamorphic forms. So there's a lot of things that can be done. In fact, one of the poster giveaways, we could even throw in a standards conversion chart.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
So at some point in the future.
Yeah. Very cool. Yeah. The and to that point, actually, I mean, a lot of anime is 4:3. 16:9 is a relatively recent thing in the anime world.
Fortunately, with some of the playback devices, you can make it fill the screen, and sometimes that's done by stretching it, and sometimes there's bars added or cuts. Sometimes when that's done, you'll notice it. Sometimes you won't. Mostly on circular objects, when something that obviously is supposed to be a sphere is looking more like an egg. Okay, the aspect ratio really should be the original. But with human heads, sometimes if you watch from the beginning that way, it doesn't feel abnormal.
Yeah.
But if you switch halfway through it, everybody's squashed or stretched or
well, anime especially, because it can be very stylized, so you kind of get used to that's the way it looks.
Used to people being tall and narrow
or short and chibi. Any of the two. I did doing an unboxing of a bootleg set. Aww, for Angel Beats. Yeah, I may have told the story before. I had a friend who was convinced that she had official DVDs of Inuyasha. For I think they were something like $15 each, 9 episodes on a disc, English subbed, direct from Japan. And I said to myself, Inuyasha was not subtitled for its release in Japan. I just know that. And so I pulled these things, and they were very inexpensive. And I flipped over the back, and they said, contact anime DVD 2001 at yahoo.com.
A Yahoo address.
Yes, as the official,
not
contact.
a common business practice to have a free email service as your business address.
Yeah. And it was licensed by Anime DVD Company. Like the logo on it. I was like, sure. But she was convinced. I was like, yeah, no, it's bootleg. And she couldn't figure out why I could tell immediately. I was like, well, let me explain.
There's a number of things that and pirates can get better and better and better, and they can make it tricky. But there's always folks out there who can really look at it and do forensic work and say, oh, okay, this is a dye-based disc. This isn't a pressed disc. This is manufactured by Tayo Yuden. There's an input code that says the batch of this blank media before it was recorded. But there's a number of different forensic methods when it's not blaringly obvious, handwritten in Sharpie.
I've had that before too. Like we said, if it's more than a few episodes, well, if it's subtitled in English, I mean, almost none of the anime in releasing them in Japan is subtitled in English. So that's kind of your first clue. Unless it's from Ghibli or it's Gundam Unicorn, it should not be subtitled in English.
When we do our DVD, I want to have it subtitled in Klingon.
Yes.
And alternate soundtrack. So if you guys know somebody who can translate for us,
exactly. Yeah.
We'll have the Rosetta Stone of.
Can we subtitle the Khan in Klingon?
Oh, that would be great.
And so cool. All right, guys. I think that'll do it for us for this night. Thank you all very much for joining us. Appreciate it. Take care. See you next week with more in the end of Yamada. Man.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Will she reach her goal?
Will she reach her goal? No.